Hello and welcome to Iron Port, the program designed to bring Ghana's ports and maritime industry closer to you. It is proudly brought to you by Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL, PLC Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. The program is powered by Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, we know that Ghana as a country is trying to rake in some $25 billion from non-traditional exports by the year 2029, which is only 5 years away. So we re-engaged the Ghana Exports Promotion Authority, who told us that in 2023, which is last year, Ghana raked in some $3.94 billion from non-traditional exports, and this represents an 11% growth over last year's figures. However, there was more we couldn't cover due to time constraints, so we re-engaged them to give us more details pertaining to the drivers that accounted for this growth. Take a listen.
The manufacturers is the largest contributor to the basket.
Okay.
If you look at the total figure of 3944, manufacturers alone did 335.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
335 billion.
Yes.
All right. So that is a chunk of the figure actually goes to is driven by the manufacturers.
Yeah.
Even if you look at the growth in terms of growth, the contribution is about 85% to this total figure. For 2022, it was 83. Even if you look at average growth this year, it's about 14%. So basically, the manufacturers is what is driving. Why? The reason is simple. When you add value to a product, of course, the gains are higher than when you export the raw material. And that is why there's always a clarion call by all actors within the export space that as a country, let's endeavor to add value to whatever we are exporting. So look, if you take, let's say, even look at cocoa. Chocolate alone is about a 120 billion industry. Ghana, when you do the export of only the beans, think about it, what do you gain? All right, I wouldn't like to put out numbers for obvious reasons, but you just get something small, all right? So you add value, you make more money. And that is why the manufacturers, there's a need for, and that is why there's always a call that within Africa, African economies should be seeking to industrialize, should be seeking to add value. But when you are doing shea butter, if you export shea nuts, what you're going to get out of shea nuts is not the same as if you were to process the shea nuts and especially go the next length of adding value to the shea butter and probably doing lotions and what have you, especially if you're able to meet the standard. So, as an authority, we know how important this sector is.
Very well.
And that is why, as an authority, we're running a project what we call 2000-200. Now, what we are seeking to do is that you look at the big drivers, those who drive the numbers.
Very well.
Ultimately, or definitely, is the manufacturers, so that we give them the needed support. But it's just that as a government agency, of course, when you look at a company, maybe not to mention names, but let's look at the ions, for instance. There are some of these companies, they are doing so much. And there's a lot of demand as far as these products are concerned within the Sahelian region. Now, as an authority, we might be limited in our interventions as far as the manufacturers are concerned. So what we do is that we collaborate with other institutions.
Okay.
The GEPA, Exim Bank.
Yeah.
We collaborate with other institutions so that they can support them. Because as an authority, we don't give financial. So for instance, if a company needs to expand its production in terms of facility, we won't have the capacity to do that. So we will support in various ways, jointly or with other partners who together we will be able to see how best these big companies can produce more in order to export. Yeah.
Okay. So apart from the Manufacturers being the
largest contributor.
So, I mean, which one is the second,
Yeah.
the third, and then the fourth? If you could give me that.
So the manufacturers is the highest.
Very well.
Of course, followed by the agricultural sector.
Okay.
And then we have the industrial art and craft,
Okay.
especially because we haven't included the services export in the data.
Okay.
It's reported all right, which is 8.62 billion USD.
Okay.
But if you look at the three sectors, manufacturers is number one, followed by the agricultural sector, and that of what was the name, the industrial art and craft sector. If I may just be quick to add, what are some of the drivers? What is making the manufacturers, aside value addition? The demand is there. All right. There's high demand, for instance, within the Sahelian
For the
region.
finished products.
For the finished products. If you look at, I can tell you what, if you look at how iron rods is performing within Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and what have you, it will amaze you. All right. Articles of plastics, the cocoa derivatives, that's the cocoa butter, the cocoa paste, and what have you. There's a high demand for it. Another one we need to be quick to add has to do, for instance, the processed fruits. All right. So you have pineapples, you have mangoes, you have other agricultural commodities. The fresh ones, what is happening is that now there's a drift. Unlike where initially we used to just export the raw, the fresh ones, now there is demand for the processed or cut fruits.
Okay.
All right. It's grown by 28%. All right. And now immediately you do the process, it moves from agri to manufacturers.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So these are some of the triggers that is causing. Again, if we even look at the manufacturers, we are enjoying what we call the ECOWAS, trade liberalization scheme protocols, which within ECOWAS our companies are entitled to, and because of that, it's easy for them to trade across our borders and trade across the neighboring countries.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Sir Chris.
Yes.
So let me find out from you. I mean, I went through the report and then I realized that the industrial art and craft subsector, even though it's the sector that relatively contributes the least, in 2023, you seem to have done well with that sector. What accounted for this?
So before I tell you what accounted for that, let me be quick to say that the industrial arts and craft sector had an average growth of about 17.85% NTs. And then we had it contributing to the 2023 NTE statistics that we are discussing. That's about 2.43%. And so it's not doing bad at all. And what contributed to that growth is the ceramics.
Okay.
Now, ceramics is doing so well. When we talk about the ceramics, we are referring to the flower pots and then even the tiles. The tiles. Now, the tiles, a lot of factories have been set up that are producing tiles.
Okay.
And especially when you go to the Côte d'Ivoire, the Burkina Faso, and all that, the tiles are doing so well over there. And we are doing a lot of exports as far as these tiles
are concerned.
And that is what really accounted for that surge in its contribution.
Okay, so apart from the tiles, which other ones are also doing well?
Also, we also have, for example, the paintings as well. The paintings also contributes significantly. But then, most importantly, the baskets is also doing very, very well.
Okay.
From the north, they do a lot of exports of baskets and all that. And then we also have our fabrics that are also doing quite well. We have an event that is in Canada, that's an apparel fair, and then we normally support some of our clients to participate in these fairs, and the results have been very, very great. And so these are some of the things we are doing in that sector.
Okay.
And like I mentioned again, recently we had this Accra International Arts and Craft Show. Now all these are programs that are being specially designed to ensure that we boost that sector. So we had over 200 exhibitors
Okay.
you know, displaying their products at Konkonuru near Ebri when we had that event. And you should have been there. It was amazing. And we are very optimistic that there's going to be a lot of business that would come out of that because we engaged international buyers. They came down to come and see the beautiful products that people have produced, and they even bought some samples of it. And we are very optimistic that the others are also going to follow.
And how are you going to boost the capacity of the producers of these artifacts?
Yeah, so there are a lot of things we are doing. So, for example, we are training them. So, special trainings organized for them. Also, in the eastern region, there is a center there called Abompe, Arts and Crafts Center, where they produce beads with bauxite. And GEPA went and renovated the place for them and also organized machines, for the modern machines that would make them more efficient at what they do. Okay. So there are lots of things that, we are doing as far as that sector is concerned. We also organize what we call the Sound Out Arts Exhibition, as well. And that is an event that we bring together painters. So those who have, done painting, great painting works and all that, we bring all of them together and then we display to the whole world what they are doing. This little boy who recently...
Yeah, the 1-year-old boy?
Yes, the 1-year-old boy.
Yeah.
That's a lame, right?
Yeah.
Yes, who has gotten his name into the Guinness World Records.
Yeah.
Yes, we displayed his artwork. Okay. We displayed his artwork in the just ended the Sound Out that was organized. And I mean, the very first day that we put his work there, his painting works there, it was purchased. It was purchased, and that is what contributed significantly to the successes he has chopped now. So we are doing a lot as far as the arts and crafts sector is concerned.
So that was Dr. Martin Akoti and Chris Amponsah-Saki of GEPA, hammering on the need for value addition for our non-traditional exports. Now let us pick a few comments after we go on break, and then we'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Ohima from Tema says, "Good evening, Ayom Court, and thank you for bringing GEPA back for part 2. What is accounting for the high trade volumes with Burkina Faso, and how can that be replicated in other African countries and beyond the continent?" This response comes from the GEPA officials.
It boils down to quality, and then again the issue of costs. You see, I mentioned that if they are to import outside of Ghana, let's say import from, say, US or from South Africa or from any other place, they will incur a lot more costs on transportation, and that would increase the cost of the product for them.
Yeah, in their country.
Whatever it is they want to use it for, they would not be competitive. You see, so these are all cost components that are considered.
So again, like I mentioned earlier, so the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme. Now, this is a protocol which was launched in 1990.
Yeah.
Now, what it's sought to do is to remove both tariff and non-tariff barriers.
Okay.
So, as ECOWAS members, they are entitled to enjoy all the provisions under this particular protocol.
So,
Ohima, what if you are taking number first? By you. You are telling say take the number give me.
Guys, no, I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, feel me talking about what? Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Raw 95.
Fill up with Super XP Raw 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for mami.
Choose Super XP Raw 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Raw 95. Goyle, good energy.
Goyle is good electricity. Then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, streetlights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome back, viewers. Now let us get updated with some local news from our ports and maritime sector. This includes the fact that Ghana recorded a trade surplus in the first quarter of 2024. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, Ghana recorded a trade surplus in the first quarter of 2024. Specifically, a total of 59.5 billion Ghana Cedis worth of goods were exported, while 48.1 billion Ghana Cedis worth of goods were imported. Gold accounted for 50% of the exported goods, followed by mineral fuels and oils, and cocoa beans and products accounting for 21% and 12.1% respectively. For imports, mineral fuels and oils accounted for 29.3%, while machinery and electrical equipment accounted for 14.6%, followed by chemical products accounting for 10.9%. This follows the 2023 trend, where Ghana recorded trade surplus of 5.3 billion Ghana Cedis after recording 186 billion Ghana Cedis in exports and 180.7 billion Ghana Cedis in imports for the entire year. Professor Samuel Kobne-Nim, the government statistician, explained how the country overcame a trade deficit in 2023 while highlighting key areas for attention.
Indeed, in the case of 2022, if we all recall what happened within our macroeconomic space, we had exchange rate challenges, And this was mainly driven by the importation of mineral fuels and oils, and that is why we saw the high prices for our mineral fuels and oils because of the exchange rate challenges that we had, upping our import rate and making us record a deficit in 2022. Once we're able to turn this around in 2023, then we saw a deficit of 5.3 billion Ghana Cedis, that is total exports being higher than our total imports.
He also highlighted Ghana's over-reliance on a few major commodities for exports in comparison to several product lines the country imports.
From an import perspective, as was indicated, we rely heavily on mineral fuels and oils. This reliance decreased over the last 5 quarters, given that its share decreased from 41.8% to 29.3% between the first quarters of 2023 and 2024. All the other classifications, we saw marginal increases over the last 5 quarters, with the vehicles and automotive parts category seeing the highest change from 6.0% to 9.4% between the first quarters of 2023 and 2024.
The government statistician also noted that this year's data was obtained in collaboration with the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority through digital means, and thus digitalization will continue to take precedence in accessing administrative data moving forward. The Ashanti Regional Minister, Simon Osei-Mensah, has expressed satisfaction with the progress and the quality of work executed so far at the Boankra Integrated Logistics Terminal. This project, owned by the Ghana Shippers Authority with the support of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority and the Ministry of Transport, is currently funded by the Government of Ghana. The minister expressed satisfaction during a visit to the project site to inspect the progress of the ongoing construction. The minister was taken on a detailed tour of the site using the project's impressively crafted road network system to witness the locations for the customs bonded warehouses, container freight station, truck park, fire and police stations, commercial area, administration block, and associated infrastructure. He emphasized that despite the financial challenges the country faces, the government is committed to allocating the necessary funds to accelerate the progress of the project and meet all deadlines.
What I have to state here is that we have to be a bit patient with the Ghana Shippers Authority, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the contractor, and the consultants. They've done a lot.
The CEO of Ghana Shippers Authority, Kwesi Bafo Sapon, noted that the journey has been marked by milestones and challenges, but government's commitment to realizing the vision of the Boankra Integrated Logistics Terminal remains resolute.
Efforts have been underway to expedite works at the project site to complete phase 1 of the project, which includes earthworks, drainage works, construction of critical infrastructure, road networks, culverts, terminal, container handling, storage depot for import, export, and transit, custom bonded warehouses, container freight stations, truck parks, fire and police stations, a commercial area, the revamp of the urban block, and any associated infrastructure, including service lines, water sources, substations, and of course, the interchange.
He said BILT is a key component of the government's initiated Ghana Trade and Investment Gateway Program, a crucial driver of economic progress and regional connectivity. With the constant evolution of the maritime industry comes the growing demand for efficient freight forwarding solutions. In Ghana, the freight forwarding trade continues to grow and expand, calling for increased, educated, dynamic professionals. This year, a total of 157 students have graduated a GIFF Academy, with 107 students graduating in proficiency certificate in freight forwarding and 50 students graduating in theater diploma in freight forwarding. Also significant is the initiative to run the program in all districts of the institute. In this direction, the program has since August 2009 taken off at the Kotoka International Airport. Some of the short courses and training programs offered this year include seminars on transport and logistics operations for some members and GIFF Executive ICT Training Workshop. The Academy has tailor-made courses which can be designed to suit every training need in the industry. The executives of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders indicate that GIFF education is aggressively riding through the storms and growing from strength to strength through the years. And it is envisaged that by the next 10 years, GIFF becomes a national research and consultancy center for facilitation of international trade. Crisis Management Solutions Company, LCB Worldwide Ghana, which has been rendering disinfection services at the nation's ports since 2018, has commenced the third edition of its Corporate Games, a football tournament ultimately intended to improve solidarity with key stakeholders. This year's edition, which kicked off on Saturday, May 11 in Tema Community 2, will last for 2 months. The 16 corporate organizations participating in this year's games include Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority's Fire Department, Ghana Police, Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Ghana Union of Traders Association, Walmart Africa, Magdan Group, among others. A trophy will be awarded to the winner of the tournament, in addition to cash prizes and medals for outstanding performers. The team from LCB Worldwide present at the opening ceremony emphasized on their resolve to promote sustainable, healthy trade practices through strong collaboration with stakeholders.
The games are about corporate social responsibility that we often do every year to promote sports in the country, at the same time physical fitness, talking about unity among participating teams and all that.
They said the games are also in fulfillment of the country manager of LCB Worldwide, Dimer Kuran Gokant's passion and commitment to sporting activities in the country, and hence will continue to support this cause.
LCB, as you know, we're already into fumigation and disinfection at the ports and then airports. And with health, when they bring in the containers and stuff like that, we need to protect ourselves from things like this. An event where diseases actually come into the country, when the containers are brought inside there, we're supposed to disinfect them so as to avoid any further
disease outbreak.
Exactly.
Now let us turn our attention to the global stage and pick a few international shipping and maritime related news. Antwerp Euro Terminal has decided to install the first shore power connection for seagoing vessels in Belgium. The shore power installation, which is expected to be operational in 2026, is said to be the first in Belgium for seagoing vessels, built according to international ISO standards. With shore power, moored ships can be connected to the local electricity grid via a socket on the quay. This reduces emissions of carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, sulfur oxide, and particulate matter, and contributes to better local air quality and less environmental noise. 2 fixed shore power connections are being installed at the Antwerp Euro Terminal for car carriers and combination container and roll-on, roll-off ships. Antwerp Euro Terminal is the largest multi-purpose terminal in Europe and one of the 24 terminals of the Grimaldi Group. CMA CGM Sao Paulo, the 4th ship in the 13,000 TEU liquefied natural gas dual-fuel container ship series built by Hudong Zhonghua for French shipping major CMA CGM Group, has been named and delivered. The delivery ceremony took place at the Shenzhen Shipbuilding Base on May 23, 2024. The vessel was designed by the 708th Research Institute of China Shipbuilding Corporation. It has a total length of 336 meters and a design service speed of 21 knots. It uses an LNG dual-fuel power system and is equipped with a 14,000 cubic meter LNG cargo tank with a Mach 3 liquid cargo containment system. CMA CGM Sao Paulo, which recently completed its sea trials, will feature a next-generation intelligence control by exhaust recycling system. It's now time to bring you our Word of the Day segment, which introduces words, phrases, jargons, abbreviations, and terminologies that we often use in this industry so you can get familiar with them. Today, we'll let you know what we mean by allotment in shipping. Allotment in shipping refers to a share of the capacity of a means of transport assigned to a certain party. For example, a carrier or an agent for the purpose of the booking of cargo for a specific voyage. Let us now take a look at the schedule of vessels that have berth in the ports of Tema and Takoradi and at the anchorages of both ports, as well as those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. This is where we draw the curtain on today's edition of Iron Port. We hope you've been informed and educated. Remember, all Iron Port content can be found on our YouTube at Iron Port. Remember to share our videos, like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.